Hello everybody, and welcome to Ancient Architects. Please subscribe now to get the latest ancient history news and independent research from around the world. The Nebra Sky Disc is something you may have seen in pictures, but it's an object that not many people know about. So in this video, I'm going to take a closer look at what UNESCO said features the oldest concrete depiction of cosmic phenomena worldwide. Originally thought to be an archaeological forgery, the disc was legitimately discovered in 1999 by two amateur treasure hunters illegally using metal detectors in Ziegelroda Forest in Saxony-Anhalt, Germany. It was clearly a find of high importance and was buried with two swords, two axes, two spiral arm rings and a bronze chisel. It was discovered in a prehistoric enclosure on top of a hill known as the Lubinja Mound, an enclosure that is oriented in such a way that from there the sun sets every solstice behind the highest peak of the Harz Mountains known as the Brocken, located 80 kilometers to the northwest. Archaeologists know a great deal about the Nebra hoard, and extensive scientific studies have been undertaken since its discovery. But although scientists can say, with certainty, that it was buried in 1600 BC, nobody can say for sure when the Nebra Sky Disc was made. Some believe that it was already an ancient relic, even in 1600 BC. This is because the quality of the swords found in the hoard are so much greater than the seemingly crude construction of the Sky Disc. So, what are we looking at? It's a bronze disc measuring approximately 30 centimeters in diameter. It weighs 2.2 kilograms, has a blue-green patina, and is inlaid with gold symbols, specifically a sun or full moon, a lunar crescent, and stars, with one cluster of stars believed to represent that found next to the Taurus constellation known as the Pleiades. There were originally two golden arcs on opposing edges of the disc. One still remains, and you can see from indentations where the other one would have been. Interestingly, the gold that makes up these arcs are a different chemical composition to the gold on the rest of the disc, and therefore has a different origin, and experts believe that these are secondary additions to the object. The two arcs span an angle of 82 degrees, which is the angle between the positions of the sunset at the summer and winter solstices, at the latitude of Mittelberg, which is the location where the object was discovered. The Nebra disc then had a third stage of development, and that is the golden arc at the bottom of the disc as we can see in this picture. Some people interpret this as a solar boat, similar to Sokar's solar barge in Old Kingdom ancient Egyptian history. Others say it represents the Milky Way galaxy. All around the edge of the disc, there are 3mm punched holes, which is the fourth stage of development for the disc, and this implies that in the later stages of its use, it was connected to something, likely wooden. Maybe it eventually became part of a shield, and due to the importance of the item, I would hazard a guess that this shield belonged to royalty. In the mound where the disc was discovered were the remains of the Prince of Helmsdorf, whose remains date back to 1940 BC. Although the disc was buried later, the fact that it was buried at the same site of a prince indicates that this was a royal object, a hypothesis that seems likely due to the quality of all the items in the hoard. Authors Michel and Harald Meller believe the prince and the Nebra Sky Disc were both from the Bronze Age Unites culture, which was the first major culture to evolve north of the Alps. They appeared around 2300 BC, lasting until around 1600 BC, which interestingly coincides with the burial date of the Sky Disc. According to analysis of trace elements by X-ray fluorescence, the copper in the bronze, which is of course a copper-tin alloy, originated at Bischofshofen in Austria, while the gold in the latter stages of the disc's development is from the Carpathian Mountains, which span Central and Eastern Europe. The primary gold that makes up the sun, crescent moon and the stars is from the River Carnon in Cornwall in England, and the tin in the bronze is also from the same location. The disc's burial in 1600 BC is the final phase in a long history of the object, which must have held huge importance in days gone by. It shows that the ancient people of Europe traded with one another, and also shows that they had astronomical knowledge, including observing the course of the sun throughout the year. as shown by the arcs on the sides. We know that ancient Europeans built massive megalithic structures for astronomical purposes, but the Nebra Sky Disc is the oldest known portable instrument to measure the heavens. Astronomer Ralph Hansen believes the disc was an attempt to coordinate the solar and lunar calendars for agricultural reasons, when to plant seeds and also when to make trades, which would be a type of primitive calendar. It gave ancient people a sense of time. Hansen said, for everyday calendrical purposes you would use moon years, but for designing when to plough fields and when to harvest, you use sun years. The Nebra Sky Disc is a fascinating and unique ancient artifact with at least 4 phases of development, made of metals that spanned Europe. It is likely that this disc is more than 4,000 years old and an object that was passed down from generation to generation of an ancient royal family. It was buried when the Unities culture came to an end, maybe crudely attached to the shield of a king. But this one small object has survived the test of time and shows just how advanced our ancient European ancestors truly were. Thank you very much for watching this episode of Ancient Architects. If you enjoyed the video, please subscribe to the channel, please like the video, and please leave a comment below. Thank you very much.